Hi guys, as you can see I have a little bit of a change of location today. I wanted to shoot outside because it's really pretty, and why stay inside when you can be in the really nice weather? So the video I'm making today has been really heavily requested. It's kind of an all about music video. Here I'll walk you through my background, my equipment, my processing. I kind of just wanted to make an all-inclusive video and answer all of your questions, or as many as I can. Unfortunately, shooting outside means I'm competing with birds, some passing by cars, people mowing their lawns. Hopefully it's not too distracting and you guys can keep up with me as I go along. Also, as a heads up, this is my microphone that's in the frame today, just so you guys know. The first question I almost always get asked is, when did I start singing? And to answer a little bit about my background, I started singing when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and we were still living in India then. So my parents decided to put me through training for just 1 year before we moved to the US. So when I was between 4 to 5 years old, I trained in Hindi and Hindustani music, and then we moved here and I had to switch and learn American and Western classical music. From the ages of 8 to 18, I learned Western classical, so I was singing Italian arias and songs in French and German and English, as you do. Other than that, I was also singing American contemporary music pretty much since as long as I can remember. Perhaps the greatest thing that came out of learning music in the US was being in choir, and I was in choir from 4th grade until I graduated high school, so about 8 years. And that way I learned how to read music, I learned about proper vocal technique, and a lot of good, healthy ways to practice singing. So when you guys hear me sing in Hindi, you can probably notice my technique isn't the best. It's because I've never had the opportunity to train, but sometime in the future I think I'm definitely gonna try and train in Hindi music, because the ability to sing that way is something you can't just have innately. You have to learn it, and it takes a lot of hard work and training. My first English song I remember was My Heart Will Go On from Titanic, and I think it's because I was 4 or 5 years old and we were still living in India, but everywhere in the world people were singing that song. As far as Hindi songs go, I don't have much of a recollection because I was too young, but my mom tells me I used to really love singing Kuch Na Kaho from 1942, A Love Story, and Jadoo Hai Tera Ye Jadoo from Gulam. As far as guitar, I've never been trained, I never took classes, I just taught myself when I was 13 or 14. One of the questions I get asked the most is about the equipment that I use, and to start off, I use a pretty standard Yamaha guitar. It's the Yamaha F335 in black, and I just use this guitar and I use my Kaiser capo on it to change my pitch. My guitar sounds a lot different than standard Yamaha guitars because I've had it for so many years that I've invested a lot of time and energy into changing its sound. So even though it's just a regular $200 guitar, it sounds much more expensive. Aside from my guitar, I use this microphone. It's the Blue Snowball microphone. It's a USB microphone that plugs into your computer. For video, I just use the camera on my iPhone 5S because I think it does a really good job, and I don't see any real need to buy a high quality camera yet. Speaking of process and editing, this is what I get asked most about. So if you're one of the people that asks me how I make my voice sound the way it does, etc., this is where you want to pay attention. To start off, I never put up a video that isn't live and in one take. When I watch YouTube videos, I love knowing that the sound that you're hearing from a musician is pretty unadulterated. So the fewer the effects, the fewer extra cut and pastes, the better. So sometimes I'll have to shoot a song up to 25 times or more, and I'll be in my basement for 5 or 6 hours at a time trying to just get one perfect take. I think it's charming to have mistakes. In fact, a lot of my videos I have the wrong lyrics, I miss a couple of notes, and that's fine. I think there's integrity in knowing that you did the best that you could, and people are hearing as close to a live performance as they can while not being in the same room as you. When I need to add layering and harmonies, all I do is take that live audio and then go back in 5 or 6 minutes, add a couple of harmonies, because I think that's the easy part. What I want to maintain is the frame of the actual song, the entire melody, all at once. Despite my incredibly active Instagram that proves otherwise, a lot of you still ask me if I lip sync or I've ever lip synced in my life. I'm happy to say I have never lip synced in a video, never lip synced in a live performance, but there will always be naysayers. So I'm gonna sing a couple of songs and put all of those rumors to rest, and finally maybe you guys will believe that I don't lip sync. So the first one I'm gonna sing is a little bit of Sansatya. साथिया माहिया बरसा दे इश्का की स्याहिया. And lastly, here's a little bit of Galiya. Teri galiyan, galiyan, teri galiyan, mujhko bhave, galiyan, teri galiyan. You guys have also asked if I've ever performed live before. I've been performing live since I was about 8 years old. So in my lifetime, I've done several shows, and sometimes they're as small as 6 to 8 people, sometimes they're as big as 2,000. And I started performing in Hindi only about a year ago once I started making these videos on YouTube. As far as full sets go, only featuring me, my first big show was last week. I did an hour and a half of songs just by myself, and it was so much fun, and I've never felt more confident in my life. My best advice to people on stage is practice. Practice by doing as many shows as you can, and the more you do them, the more relaxed you'll get once you're up there. And last, just for fun, you guys always ask me who my favorite YouTube musicians are. My favorite male performers are definitely Sanam, because I think their videos are just so high quality, and I think Sanam Puri is just an amazing singer, and I would die if I met them. They're so good. I think my favorite female singer is definitely Jonita Gandhi, because her voice is just incredible and effortless, and I can only wish to sound that good one day. So that wraps everything up for today. If I forgot to answer any of your questions, please write them in the comments below. Find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for always supporting me. Keep liking, watching, and sharing. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Really? There's a helicopter going by right now. It's still here. Okay. Now there's a car. This is the worst. I'm never filming outside again.